Doing sound for film is a lot more involved than you might think. It's not just actors talking and a movie soundtrack. In this video, I explore the world of Foley by training with a professional sound artist, recreating common sounds in uncommon ways, and learning about the hidden world of creating sounds for film.
Say, you sound effects men are a bunch of fakers.
That was so hard!
Thank you to Storyblocks for sponsoring a portion of this video, and our patrons for supporting the channel.
So have you watched Twisters recently?
Kill me, I don't want to talk about Twisters.
I personally think it is one of the best movies to be released in the past 5 years.
How do you judge films?
I think the best part of a movie is the music.
I like the craft of movie making, you know? In writing, in direction, in cinematography. And then there's a whole area that people don't appreciate as much, which is the sound.
I think that sound is really important because it got us the line, if you feel it.
Sound in movies is more than just dialogue.
I counter that. If you've watched the John Mulaney Award show where he's giving the award for best sound,
You know, for years, movies didn't have sound, and then they figured it out.
he does in fact only talk about dialogue.
Without sound, we wouldn't have been able to hear such classic lines as "You're gonna need a bigger boat."
I merely do not listen to John Mulaney on account of the cheating. John Mulaney fundamentally misunderstands how many different parts of sound exist. There's like the technical recording, and then there's the craft of sound design, sound editing, the Foley, which is my favorite part of sound in movies.
So that's when somebody's just like, picking up a cup.
I wish I had a bag of chips.
Is not just, I'm picking things up and there's technique involved.
Pretty convincing impression of a twister.
I hate talking to you guys. Because Sabrina and Melissa won't take me seriously, I've taken that personally. I'm gonna do the next most reasonable thing. Interview an award-winning Foley artist to prove my point.
Hi, so my name is Stefan Fraticelli. I'm a Foley artist. My company name is Oddio Studio.
Stefan has worked on everything, from 500 Days of Summer to Parks and Rec. His IMDb is crazy.
I would say my favorite at this point is The Last of Us. It was really a great series. We're recently nominated for an Emmy Award for that, so we're going to be heading down. Fingers crossed.
And the Emmy goes to the team from The Last of Us.
I often get asked by people who are not really familiar with Foley in any great detail why it exists in the first place, why they don't just take the audio that was originally recorded on set. There are many reasons.
Sound recordists are focused on dialogue. They're making sure that the actors are clearly audible, so other sounds are deprioritized so that they can get the cleanest recording on set. Because of this, they sometimes use fake or silent props to minimize the amount of noise from the environment in a production. But that's not realistic.
We go through afterwards and create anything that's related to the actor's movements, and that sits as a layer over the originally recorded dialogue track.
Another reason might be noisy locations. Some of the ambient sound might be too overpowering for the details of a scene, and sometimes that can make the audio unusable. And a third reason might be the sounds that you expect to hear in film aren't actually the real sounds that would happen in that scenario.
When you pull a sword out of a sheath, it shouldn't have that sound, it should be silent. But people expect that to be there in a film, and it adds to the drama, so we do it. People don't always understand the distinction between what a Foley artist does and what a sound effects editor does. Foley is always related to movement on screen. Like if I was going to describe a typical scene and the breakdown of how it would go, let's say somebody wakes up, goes down to their kitchen, makes a smoothie, has some coffee, and then leaves. We would do all their footsteps going down the stairs. We would do grabbing the fridge, pulling out the fruit, chopping it up, putting it into the blender. But then as soon as the blender goes on, that would be a sound effects editor cutting that sound in. And then sound effects editors would also have some sort of an ambient sound for the kitchen. Maybe the dishwasher's running, maybe there's other stuff going on. You really, as a new Foley artist, have to start building up your own prop collection, things you're familiar with, so then when a sound comes up in a scene, you don't have to go scouring through an entire studio. I started putting a collection together with about 6 or 7 small suitcases. Now that I've been at this facility for years, everything is here. I don't use the cases anymore, but I still know where it is in the entire studio. What you see when we're walking around here is like a huge compilation of 30 years of collection.
After talking to Stefan, I decided if I really want to prove my point to Sabrina and Melissa, I should do some Foley myself. And in order to do that, I need to find some footage to Foley. I can't just use any old film because I don't have the rights to every film in the world. And I'm really not interested in going out and shooting my own clips. I want it to be something that I've never seen before, that I've got a Foley. It's part of the challenge. So I've decided to find some clips on Storyblocks, which happens to be the sponsor of this video as well. What they offer is perfect for us. It's a curated stock library with over 1 million pieces of footage, but it also has sound effects and music, which means that I can use their sound effects and music to create a soundscape that really sells the footage that I'm foleying. The other thing I like about Storyblocks as opposed to typical stock footage sites is that Storyblocks offers unlimited downloads for one subscription fee, rather than a per clip basis or having other hidden fees for licensing. You can use as many clips as you want from Storyblocks without worrying about, well, I've just paid for this, so I should use it, but it doesn't really fit in my story anymore. So all of those worries are gone. You can just be creative for one simple subscription price. For this challenge, I'm looking for a really specific type of clip. I want it to be a busy environment with a lot of complex sounds, but I don't want the clip to be focused on a character, for example. I want it to be like a big, busy, bustling restaurant or bar or something like that, where there's a bunch of tiny sounds that I need to put together. I think that'll give me a wide range of sounds to be foleying. And Storyblocks is easy to use from search to editing to publishing. It's got a Storyblocks plugin for the Adobe Cloud, and the search is actually very powerful because they'll also offer you clips that are similar to the one that you're looking at. Something that'll be perfect for me when I'm searching for the perfect clip to foley. Storyblocks also keeps you legally covered. Anything you download from Storyblocks is 100% royalty free, which means I don't have to worry about any complex licensing, and you can get yourself whitelisted on YouTube for any clips that you use, which is ideal for me because I can actually show you what I'm doing with the footage without worrying about any copyright strikes on YouTube. To get started with unlimited stock media downloads at one set price, head to storyblocks.com/answerinprogress or click the link in the description. And if I'm gonna do some foleying, I thought I would get some help. So I decided to meet up with the only other Foley nerd that I know.
Taha, welcome to the city.
Thank you.
What you doing here?
I'm here to do some foleying.
Ooh, I love foleying.
I got a clip from Storyblocks. There's many things going on in this clip.
There's a lot.
Should we just go through each of these? We've got to break down the scene.
Multiple things cooking out here. Two frying pans.
2 frying pans.
And there's a pot in the back. Spatulas, then some chopping. And then we have this dude in the back walking away.
What type of shoes do you think he's got on? Slightly heavier boots?
Yeah, some more walking. Oh, here, right here.
Oh, actually he's got like trainers.
You think he's a real chef? Who chefs up in that? What do you think about the sizzling? That's probably the hardest thing.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok. Allegedly, you can have water and use pop rocks. So we're gonna try that.
Shall we get to it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Get over here. Get over here.
Oh, this will have it. This will have it. This is so American. This is the most American thing of all time. Wait.
Cracking gum.
Cracking gum. We got him.
I need a spatula.
Spatula.
Frying pan.
What do we need the frying pan for?
For the frying pan?
Good, that's a good.
All right, you ready? You're recording?
I'm recording.
That was not it. Do you think cast iron's not the move? Because it makes kind of like a hollow sound.
That does feel better.
I'm gonna like put your hand back here. Ooh, that was pretty good. All right, now we're switching to the woman. We low-key need to like drop something in there.
What did she drop? Like a...
Little tomatoes after she cut them.
Do you think there's like an interaction? Like there's gonna be like a big amount of frying happening straight after the tomato?
I would assume so.
So I think we just drop more pop rocks.
Nice, I feel good about that one. Dang, who knew? I thought this was gonna be a piece of cake. This is hard.
Oh, that was hard.
Let's finish with the pans. We need the pan dropping. There's like a lift up, down, scrape. What about if it's on the granite? I just feel like an electric stovetop is like kind of like...
It's like a glass material.
It's like, but it's like kind of hollow. Like it's not super solid.
What about on a chopping board?
I like that.
I'm just gonna get the one pickup.
That was pretty good. I think we just move on to placing the pan.
Yeah.
There should be like kind of like a hit flat. Yeah. I like those last 3 takes.
Yeah, give me one more.
That's pretty good too. While we're here, you want to do scale.
There's like a bit of a clatter, it's like...
Yeah, you're right. He like peels it.
Yeah, to be honest, that was perfect. I thought that was it.
Yep.
We need to do the scrape.
Maybe try no hands on it, like you're grabbing it.
Chopping on plastic. Dude, that
was pretty good.
That was in. That was so good.
Good stuff. We're trying to resemble boiling water, but we don't have an electronic stovetop, so once the fire goes out, the water just stops boiling.
And the fire is too loud.
I have it.
Okay.
Straw.
That's good.
That's good, right? Yeah. So this is what, 13 seconds of bubble blowing? Low-key, I feel like boiling water is more aggressive, more bubbles. Do we think we got the shot?
I think so.
Okay.
I was trying not to laugh because it was so funny. Foot Foley, the steps.
The steps.
Okay, left guy, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 3 steps, and then 5 steps. I'm not getting good sound. As we were trying to do the footsteps, we immediately realized that this was way harder than we thought.
The hardest thing for Foley artists to do is footsteps. It may seem like a very simple, basic thing, but to be able to walk in sort of a confined area and have your footsteps sound natural and also be in sync with the actors is a very long process to learn. As a result, it's generally the most senior people at any facility that handle doing the footsteps. These are just some of the shoes that I use on a regular basis. I actually have I don't know, close to 200 pairs of shoes probably. These are one of my favorite women's heels, and they don't look like heels at all, right?
But they've got the sound.
Yes.
Wow.
When I was learning to do footsteps, I would often follow people like on the street or on the subway and try and walk in time with their footsteps to get used to doing sync and like stop when they stop and try not to be too close because that is creepy.
All right, I think we're done.
Now, the final reveal.
We can't hear anything.
No, exactly, Sabrina. It's dull, it's lifeless. And now the world premiere of me and Colt's Foley on this clip.
Sounds like a kitchen.
That was nice.
Do you see what we've done here?
Kind of like you turned a microphone on in a kitchen, I guess.
It's not. We made every sound. Listen.
He's
Listen.
so mad.
Stop it. You would not be able to do better.
Bet. He's walking with whack shoes. Yeah. Oh my God, you hit me with the mic. Oh no. Oh, that was so hard. Hey, I'm talking here.
It was pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh! I really appreciate the sound effect for him falling was you yelling, fall!
Okay, wait, what else could we use?
Oh, we could use props. This sound here. Is that car-like?
No, but we can.
Kind of.
Okay. I can be the car, you need to fall.
Again?
Why do you have a shovel?
I think that this could do something.
That's falling.
It sounds like, a plastic man falling.
There's a little bit of dirt in here. I'm gonna use that dirt for texture.
For texture?
Because he's walking on dirt.
They did a terrible job, and I'm not the only one who thought that.
Oh, the car is good.
Oh, that was so hard.
Okay. I think that's probably enough. I heard some footsteps. Sounded like more than one person. I noticed that the surface that you're on is very hard. It's like a tile surface versus dirt.
Was me yelling, oh my God, the ground is so hard.
Yeah, I thought that was if you threw yourself on the ground for a body fall. Is that when that happened? I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was no sound though.
No, I heard the sound of pain, but not his pain.
Give us a grade.
0.
Okay. Off the chart.
Only up from here,
Only up from here.
So we jumped into Sabrina and Melissa's crash course on Foley, and it started just as you'd expect.
I'm just gonna hold it to feel like I'm involved, but Taha, that's all you, bud.
Damn, okay.
I'm scared.
Okay.
That was so hard.
I feel like I'm learning how to walk again. The last dot!
But after a while, I think they started to realize how difficult Foley was.
Oh!
and they really started to appreciate the level of skill it requires to do good Foley.
I'm gonna close up all the curtains in here to eliminate all these interior reflections that you hear.
The room is getting quieter. It's freaking me out. It feels like the room is shrinking.
And more importantly, how fun it could be.
The bits that you're seeing here are silica cat litter. Who wants to listen?
Dibs.
Whoa, it sounds even snowier.
Whoa!
And they started to appreciate it the same way I do.
That's wowie. Sounds like snow to me.
So, with our lessons complete, we thought it was only right to try and bring some sound to Charlie Chaplin again.
First, we're gonna need some kind of a road surface. Rocky dirt.
Ooh, that is a rocky dirt. Foley requires a level of technical knowledge about sound, how it reverberates and interacts with materials.
When the line goes over, bang.
But also a sophisticated taste around what sounds people actually expect to hear. It requires rhythm and focus. It's both art, like dance or music, and precise, like building a delicate structure. You have to build a realistic sounding orchestra of noises, some of which might not even exist in real life.
Pretend it's like a Ouija board or something.
Sometimes you go to an art gallery and think, I could paint that. But then when you actually try, you realize the incredible depth and skill it takes to actually master a craft. Sound in film is one of the most unforgiving parts of making a movie. If it's bad, then it's the only thing anyone can pay attention to.
That's not as deep as she got.
But if it's brilliant, it just melts into the story and goes totally unnoticed until someone at an award show somewhere makes a joke about how the sound was fine.
You know, for years, movies didn't have sound, and then they figured it out.
Whoa, this is great. Charlie Chaplin is funnier with sounds.
Wow, we fixed Charlie Chaplin.
We fixed Charlie Chaplin.
You improved, I would say, to like a 9 out of 10 from maybe 1. And I would not hire you.
If you want to learn more about Stefan and his process, we've made an entire 30-minute mini documentary for Patreon. There was so much that we filmed and talked about with Stefan, and we couldn't fit it all into this video.
That's a fabric.
It is, it's sheepskin. But then when it's soaking wet...
Oh my god, that's
Oh my
so
god.
real.
It's actually very nice to touch. It sounds gross though.
And if you're curious about little snippets about how sounds are made, you can also find that on his Instagram.